All right, we're live. Wow, that was quick. It just like instantly went live.
Wow. It's like we're live and it's like, yeah.
We were having a lively conversation 10 seconds ago, John. What
Yeah,
did you
we
do?
were.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I blame John.
Yeah.
This running thing's kicking my butt.
Oh, nice.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Nice.
So my coach upped my intervals to, instead of run a minute, walk 2 minutes, to run 2 minutes, walk 1 minute. Yeah, that just about killed me yesterday.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I like it.
The other one sounds better.
Yeah. So we're dealing with that. I am so tired.
Is it are you doing
How many
it for
miles did you
time
do?
right now?
About 2.5. What?
You're doing it for time right now, right? Not distance. So
Yeah, she gave me a pace. I was way ahead of pace on the other one, so it's probably more appropriate. But yeah, so and I've been doing it on the treadmill just because it's so cold outside.
What's the temperature outside?
In the morning, I mean, it gets up to the 50s sometimes. But
Wow.
anyway, I asked her, I'm like, can I do this on the treadmill? And she's like, yeah. I was like, all right.
What kind of pace is she giving you to start off?
17 to 18 minute mile.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You should be able to.
But I'm still faster than that on these runs.
Oh yeah.
So what's the total time you did this time?
What was that?
Total time?
35
for
minutes.
that one? Huh? 35?
Yeah.
You'll be fine. That's like 2 miles, 3 miles, 2 miles.
I went about 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just need to tone it back.
Yeah. Don't worry. It only gets harder from here.
It's true. It's only going to be 10 times longer. That's all.
My workout this morning was an easy workout, just an easy 8 miles.
Yep. I'm sure I'll get there, but
you'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah.
But I died on Wednesday, man. It was ridiculous. On Wednesday, it was like I had to do like I think 3 mile warm up at like a 9-minute mile pace, and then 25 minutes at an 8-minute mile pace, which was just like killer.
Mm-hmm.
And then another like a 6-minute jog, and then 10 minutes at 7.5-minute mile pace, and then a 3-minute jog, and then 10 more minutes at 7.5 mile, 7.5-minute mile pace, and then like another mile cool down. And it was just, I was dead. Like I couldn't finish the second 7.5-minute mile pace because I've been running so much already too. So yeah.
Sounds
finally
easy to me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see you do that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll get there. I've also lost over so the week before Christmas, I had lost like 12 pounds.
Whoa.
You know, well, between then and the last time I'd weighed in, which had been about 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then over Christmas, I just maintained. It was kind of funny because, and I was not watching what I was eating at all. I was eating all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so I think when I get back on it, I'll probably wind up losing more weight.
For sure, yeah.
I'm going back to keto and back to all the stuff that I should be doing. But yeah. As far as work goes, I don't have a whole lot to report. I am onboarding a couple of people this week. I also had an uncomfortable conversation with Eric, and I'm cutting back what he's doing. So yeah, that was no fun, but that's about all I've gotten done. Getting back into things after the holidays been really tough. But I've got to onboard at least one show notes person. I've got to check up on my developer. He's submitted some PRs, so I've got to review those. And then I've got to onboard one of my new editors today. So, and I'm driving down to my in-laws, so I'll probably just be up all night.
Sounds like fun.
But getting back into it's hard. I don't know why.
It is. Yeah.
Into getting back into work.
Yeah, after taking like 3 or 4 days off. Because yesterday I didn't do very much. I went to the gym, checked on a couple of things, and that was it.
Yeah, I fell off the wagon big time in the holidays. Like I've been eating junk, and my productivity has been pretty much nothing.
I gave my candy.
Yeah.
I finally just gave the rest of my candy to my kids because we all got candy in our stockings.
Yeah.
Because
I wonder who gave it to you.
my wife.
No, Santa Claus. Duh.
You should see what she does. Yeah, Santa Claus. She goes nuts.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So I was like, all right, kids, here you go. I'm not gonna eat the rest of this, but I'm so tired of candy.
Oh, God.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird too, like how it doesn't take very much for your taste buds to change back to the unhealthy to eating. So I'm done though. I'm like I got to get back on track now. Gained a good probably actually really gained maybe like 6 or 7 pounds, but scale weight is like up like 10 pounds. So that's it's no good. It doesn't help with the running either. Like carrying around an extra 10 pounds to run is not what I need.
Couple
when I've only got 2 weeks.
dictionaries.
Yeah.
There are a couple dictionaries in your backpack.
So
Or in your hand.
but yeah, I got to get back to the Pomodoro technique again. To I kind of was, I don't know, I was trying to plan out stuff, but it just was not going down. But
That 8 Pomodoro before 12 p.m. It was a good thing. We can always get ourselves back into shape very quickly by instituting it next week, and boom.
Yeah, I've been doing Pomodoros. I haven't done it this week, but last week I did, and the week before I did. And yeah, it's been really, really effective. And just making sure. So my goal was just to average 8 Pomodoros a day, and that worked out pretty well. I had to scramble a couple of days and really push to get there, but that's been really, really effective. Just making sure that I'm getting that focus time in. The only issue I really have at this point is sometimes I'll sit down and I'll start working and I'll forget to start my Pomodoro timer.
Oh man, that is like
And then I get
15
really
minutes in,
frustrated.
you're like,
Apparently,
no.
you're not.
Because
using
45
Kanban
minutes
flow.
later, I was sucked into what I was working on, and I'm like, crap! I know I started at 10:15, and now it's 11, and
Which Pomodoro are you using? Which one are you using?
I've been using the Kanban Flow one.
Yeah, that's the best.
The other issue that I've had, I bought myself one of the Pomodoro timers I bought you guys.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is like that one, I turned off the notifications. Like it'll pop up on my computer when it's done. But if I'm doing something and I'm really focused on it, a lot of times I won't see that notification. So I'll set my Pomodoro timer for like 27 minutes.
Yeah.
The one that's sitting on my desk. And that way,
Hold on, you won't see the notification? It's an audio notification.
oh, I've got that turned off.
Well, turn it on.
I should.
Yeah.
Well, if it's just in the browser though,
Yeah.
then it's like an on-off switch global for everything. So it's a pain.
Well, the other thing is that the way I've set things up is that I am every day I have to do a Pomodoro working on the book. I have to do a Pomodoro working on the doing email. I have to do a Pomodoro doing prospecting, following up on prospecting, and cleaning my office. And so depending on what I'm working on, I may not even be sitting at my computer when it gets done.
Yeah.
So, and then I do the other stuff
on the computer. You can keep it going on the computer, and when the audio rings, the bell rings, it's done.
Yeah, but I have my audio piped through my headphones, so I won't hear it. And that's just because that's the way I have it set up for the podcasts, and I never change it because it's easy.
Problems, high quality problems.
Yeah, but it's easy to solve with a $10 tomato timer. I just set it for 27 minutes, and then when it dings, then I go make sure that my palm's up.
Thank you for the timer. Got it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So.
Hey, so Josh, we got to do the social skills book summary sometime.
Are you doing a thing with it? You doing a launch or?
Well, I'll do a repeat, maybe a price increase or something along those lines. But what do you think? What's your calendar like so I can actually time it
I mean, honestly, I'm not really I don't want to take anything on. Don't want to put anything on the calendar right now because of the Facebook work. Like
Right.
that's the focus. So
You're
that
doing any
might
launches, or are you doing any kind of promotions while you're doing the Facebook?
not at the moment. I want to see. I want to be clear for that when that comes up, and not be trying to juggle multiple things. So I think we're going to be so they ran some more ads last week, and we haven't met yet, but they came up with a winning. We tried like 4 different lead magnets, came up with a winner there. So I'm going to be working with Jason on actually building that lead magnet out now.
How much is the lead cost now?
Let me see what he said it was. Let's see. I'm not sure. I think we were just going off of, let me look at that, how that they were testing that. Mason. All right. So, okay. So the way that they set that test up, they were using the same. So it was actually cost per click. It wasn't cost per lead for that particular one. So they were doing, they were testing different body copy, different headlines, same body copy, to just get people to click.
Do you have a funnel map somewhere that you can share to show us what the conversions are on each step of the way?
No, not yet. Not one with all the updated information in it.
So what's happening right now? Is it just like initially you're asking people to click on a blog post and then retargeting them with the lead magnet?
So no. So right now what they've done is they tested a bunch of audiences, cold audiences, to see who was the most responsive.
Testing with lead magnets, not
testing with
post.
Email opt-ins for
lead magnets. Okay.
For lead magnets. Yep.
All right.
And then we picked the most responsive audience there, and then they're testing. They sent some. They tested the lead magnet title, so that it was like the title of the Facebook ad was the lead magnet title. Body copy was the same, and then there was a click, and I think it was just a click to the sales page.
Lead magnet sales page. You mean lead magnet page?
No, just the sale. It was just a click to the sales page for the product. The way they set it up is like it basically all we were measuring was the clicks, not.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Well, no. So I'm on Facebook. I see your ad.
Right.
The ad makes me click to some sort of a lead magnet, I'm assuming.
It will make you click to a lead magnet. The ad was promoting the lead magnet, but the actual click-through went to the sales page. We were just testing what was the click-through rate on the different headlines.
I see.
Basically. Like if this had been Google Ads, we would have just been sending people to our homepage. We would have just been testing different.
So you're just testing right now. What's the lowest cost per click?
Yeah.
Not even cost per lead, because you don't know
Correct.
the cost per lead right now.
Correct. Yeah, and they got the cost per click ranged from $2.61 to 90 cents. So 90 cents to 261.
How many clicks now?
It looks like it's about 40.
So the average is how much?
Well, the lowest was the 90. So the breakaway winner was the 90-cent one. So that one got 13 clicks at 90 cents, and the other ones were a much lower, like 3 or 6 clicks for anywhere from $1.23 to $2.61.
Yeah, you're looking at $1 per click, and hopefully 50% of the people convert on the lead magnet. Then you're looking at $2 per lead.
Right.
Well, they had a per lead because they were collecting email addresses.
Yeah, that was on the first round.
Oh, okay.
That was just with the audiences. So, and then this was to test a few different lead magnets, and then we were going to build the one that was got the most response. And what you're looking for is like exactly what we got, which is a clear winner.
Yeah.
Both in terms of click-through rate and cost per click. It's not like we're not trying to find like a 5% difference. We're looking for like 100% difference, which is essentially what we found.
Good.
Yeah, which that makes sense, and also when you think about it too, in those terms, what's going to happen is like if you've got that clear winner, this is an unoptimized version of it, right? It's like
Exactly.
it's just the idea, and then now like how when you kind of tweak that down, how much can you optimize that, right? So maybe
right. So we're going to be
cut
testing
that in half.
different images,
Different creators.
different body
Yeah.
copy.
What
call to action.
is the call to action in this one?
It will be to.
No. What was the?
What
ad?
was it? Let me look.
What's the 90-cent ad?
Let me see. I have the body. I'm looking at the body copy here. Okay. All right. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, the call to action was actually get the training here. So we were advertising like a free training, but I think the URL that they actually used was just to get to the landing page, and it was just a small test.
And Facebook actually passed that.
Yeah.
Because that would actually, Facebook would throw a fit at you saying free, and then on the landing page it's a sales page.
Well, they didn't.
Yeah.
So,
surprising.
yeah. So
I've had to be picky about my stuff too. So
yeah. So
it's a free like interview guide or something that you're giving away.
We were.
That's what the call to action was. Get the free interview guide.
You know what? They might have. I honestly don't know what URL they used. I'd have to look in the ads because I did give them a lead magnet. I gave them a PDF, so maybe it did click. Maybe they did set it up so that you could actually get the PDF. But it was a PDF of a. I'm actually looking now to see what they were using as the URL. Because they were. Jason had put together this one-page cheat sheet that was basically a summary of the entire interview course. So the nice thing about it was that it kind of, at a very high level, covered a ton of different topics.
Mm-hmm.
So we could pitch it from all these different angles.
Mm.
And the idea was that they would be opting in. If they were going to, we'd be pointing them at this cheat sheet, which is not an optimal lead magnet in terms of getting people to convert. But they didn't. I didn't set up any landing pages for this. So I want to see what they ended up doing. They might have just thrown it up on the site and like pointed straight to the PDF, just to get the. Man, they've changed the Facebook ads so much. But anyway, so to answer your question, Manny, like this is a really, really long answer to the question. But yeah, I don't want to put anything on the calendar because I want to be free to focus on this as because it's about to get really intense. I was just talking
about Facebook ads. I already got the answer you gave me, so
yeah. Okay.
I wasn't really looking to get that answer anymore. I was just interested in learning what's going on with your Facebook ads.
Yeah. So we pretty much like hit. I mean, obviously this week we didn't do a whole lot with it because of the holiday, but we should be meeting pretty soon to get back into it.
Yeah. It might make sense to put at least one promotion for January. Otherwise, we're going to take a revenue hit, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, probably it would be the membership is what I was. Well, we're already doing this. We're already doing this Dan Lok thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. We are going to be doing the Dan Lok thing, right? But yeah, at least if we have one per month, we've got to do something with Bluehost as well too. We keep on promising them, but I agree with you on definitely making sure that this is a priority.
What's the Dan Lok thing you guys are? Is that the webinar plus the $3,000 product?
Yeah.
Here we go. I think I finally found the ads. It's confusing now because we have multiple. Here we go. Yeah. All right. 4 types of questions. Let me see what this ad was. But yeah, we had. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. Go ahead, John.
Oh, yeah. That's the Danlock thing should be going off pretty soon here. I'm just waiting to get the confirmation from them.
So he does a live webinar?
I think they've got a recorded
yeah.
webinar. Yeah, that he does, and then I've got like an intro and outro for the webinar
That you're gonna record ahead of time.
Yeah, I've already got them recorded, so we'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting to see how their sales process works. So, I mean, I think they end up doing on the phone conversions. I think they get a lot of leads from the webinar, and then.
So, are you guys going to do send opt-ins to his list for the webinar? Is that how it's supposed to be?
They'll be opt-ins. So yeah, so it should be opting in to his list.
Right. So you're going to send the link to the webinar registration, and he will take over from there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to send the link to the landing page, the webinar landing page.
Right.
And so from there, that's the sign up. Yeah. So,
interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this works out. I mean, so far they've had pretty dang good success. So.
Yeah, so they've got the team they're offering to basically run the launch on our end for simple programmers. So we're going to give it a shot.
Yeah,
it's pretty low risk endeavor. So I think the emails will go out under John's voice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It looks like I'm actually looking at these ads. It looks like they did have a lead capture form, Manny. But I think what they were measuring was the number of people who clicked on that versus the actual opt-in for whatever reason. So I think you can measure both the number of people who click to view the opt-in form.
I guess what they're thinking is that the lead capture form is not optimized right now. Is that why?
Yeah, it's really not. Yeah, I think they just were looking
pretty shady.
Get some action, get them to take some action and measure the relative responses.
Yeah, it's the scientific step 1, step 2,
Yep.
step 3 measure everything accordingly.
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah, they weren't just
the same.
Yeah, they weren't just sending people to the sales page. So I was wrong on that.
Yeah, Facebook wouldn't like that.
But yeah, maybe February. Maybe we could do like the social skills thing in February.
So
right before Valentine's Day. So
that's actually a good idea.
You're heading toward the get laid end of that spectrum. Is that what
I think that sounds that way to me.
Yeah.
Programmers need to get laid too.
That's the Facebook ad we'll run.
Yes.
There
we go. So did you do that? Did you do a promotion around that one, Manny, recently, or you were just thinking because we haven't done it for Simple Programmer yet?
Yeah, because I'm thinking of it, but I want to time it accordingly because otherwise people are like, I've had this in the past where people are like, hey, you just changed the price and then this is blah, 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 blah. So if I know what's coming, then I can fine tune everything and I know exactly how to place it in my funnel so people will not complain and people get the best price who are my customers already.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, early February sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Tentative. Pencil it in.
Okay. I'll write, if you need, I'll write a Valentine's Day email as well, a pre-Valentine's Day, why they need social skills.
Nice.
Take the dagger and put it into their heart about how
Yes.
all their programming skills are not going to help with getting the ultimate dream life they want.
Man, that's rough.
Well,
Build yourself up a life companion.
exactly. They need that.
So John, I have some questions about. I'm trying to get started with. So I'm finally getting around to doing the LLC. So we dissolved the Simple Programmer S Corp right this year,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
you have an LLC that owns your portion of Simple Programmer.
Mhm.
And I'm working on setting that same thing up with not Mark. I want to call him Mark, but Rick.
Okay, yeah, because it's Mark Kohler is
Okay.
the main dude. But
Okay,
Rick
yeah.
is, yeah.
So, all right. So I'm trying to. So I'm working with their legal team, and they're setting up. They're going to set up the LLC for me.
Yeah.
What did the what should I expect from Rick as far as onboarding? Because so far, what I'm getting is they want me to schedule a $300 consultation.
Mhm.
Like, if they're onboarding me as a client, why am I paying for like one-off consultation? Is that how they roll? Like, they make you go through a paid consultation process first?
I mean, they pretty much charge like hourly, right? So,
Right.
and it's like I think for their standard like accountant, like their high up accountant, it's like $300 an hour, and for Mark Kohler, I think I pay like $400 or $500 an hour for his
Okay.
time. So it's definitely not. I mean, so there's a balance here, right? So they're not the cheapest, right? But they know this stuff better than anyone else. Like, you can rely on exactly what they
Right.
say and what they do, right, and how they do
Right.
it. So that's why I pay for them, just because I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get the exact, correct advice, rather than searching for it. As far as like the process of setting up an S corp, it's not super hard. I mean, you can research that and you can set that up yourself, or you can use one of the services. There's online services like, was it like Inkfile or something like that? There's a bunch of them where even LegalZoom, I think, has the option to set up an LLC and make it an S corp. So there's cheaper ways to do it. It's just the important thing about it is structuring it correctly and having the right operating agreements, and so that's why it might be worth to pay them to do it.
So I'm already working with their attorney to set up the LLC.
Mhm.
So that I think that will all be taken care of. I'm going to use their registered agent. So they've got like registered agent service, and they've got the mail forwarding service. And for now I'm just going to use theirs because it's not very expensive.
Right.
And I think the whole setup process for that is going to be around like $1,500, which isn't bad at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Or maybe $1,200. But I have no idea. Like, I was expecting on the tax prep side that if I'm going to use them for my taxes, that there would be some sort of like onboarding process where they're going to like get familiar with my taxes, with what I've done, make some recommendations, and then do my taxes as like a package deal. Is that not like, am I just going to basically just be paying them hourly? And because right now they're like, send us your questions. I'm like, I don't have questions. I don't know. I don't have any idea what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know if they're like, are there things you should, do you have questions about the year end that you want to do before I'm like, there probably are questions, but I have no idea what they are because I don't know. I don't understand anything about I don't understand what I'm, what I should be asking them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a la carte basically with them. Like, it's all hourly. So they basically charge, I think, to do the tax prep. Like, they know how long it'll probably take, but then they charge at an hourly basis. So
okay.
So that's what. So even like the talking with them to consult about even with the onboarding is time that is billed for. So yeah.
Okay.
That's how they do it. Like I said, I mean, they're definitely not the cheapest by any means.
Yeah, well, I'm probably I'm not in anywhere near the same bracket as you, and it may not be worth my money at this point to do it with them, because it sounds like it could easily be several $1,000s to do my taxes if they're going to be billing me hourly.
Yeah, I mean, they have it depends on, because you'll be filing a personal and an S corp.
Right.
So there'll be 2 returns, and I would guess that a minimum each one of those returns would be about $1,000. I mean, your personal might actually be less without real estate, and I mean, mine gets pretty damn complicated, but it might be somewhere around $600-700, and then I would imagine that a corporate return is going to be about the same, if not more. So
yeah, with my accountant, it's not quite that. I mean, I pay per their time, but yeah, for me, it's been about $700 every year to have them file
For the
both
corporate
my business and my personal together.
Okay. And you have an LLC similar, Chuck?
I have an LLC. We're organized as an S corp at this point, or we file as an S corp. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the whole, it just depends on how complicated things. Like for me, the amount of complexity with my taxes, because if you think about, like, for me, what I'm filing for taxes is a personal return, multi-state personal return, right? So I'm filing in California, which is definitely one of the most difficult places, right? In Idaho, Missouri. So those are all because of the real estate, right? And then on my personal return is, real estate for, 13 different properties with depreciation schedules. And then from that is like another entity that holds the real estate. That's a corporate return that's being filed. And then another corporate return for Sanmez Ventures, which holds my ownership in Simple Programmer and also all the coaching and consulting business and anything else that I do. So that all, and then I believe, and then, for the Sanmez Ventures, I think that's still single state, but yeah, there's a lot going on there that could get screwed up. So it's worth it for me to pay to make sure it's all done right. But in the case, I don't know, in your case, it might be a lot simpler. So maybe you can just use, you can just use a CPA that's competent, not one that has to know all of the ins and outs of real estate and all these things. So
yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping to use the same people to organize the LLC and do the returns, but kind of thinking now it might be overkill.
My CPA actually had an attorney that he worked with to get that kind of stuff done. So when I organized my LLC, my CPA just lined all that stuff up.
The big thing is having the structure in place correctly, which is that you should have essentially an S corp that is your main entity, and then your S corp owns your interest in other LLCs. And that's the key, because then you pay yourself one payroll out of that S corp, and then also it solves the problem of like, where do expenses go? Because if you have one S corp and it owns the other businesses, then some of the kind of ambiguous stuff, like I just bought this stapler, like it doesn't really matter where you
swing line stapler.
Exactly. Like before it would be a problem, because you'd be like, well, okay, but it's going to be used for both of my businesses, right? Now you can just deduct it from that S corp, like that's a business expense for that operation of everything that you're doing. So that's where it comes in handy. But I mean, the best thing to do is probably just to email them and just be like, hey, what, realistically, based on what I've got going, what is the cost going to be on this, and just say that your cost, you're price sensitive on this matter. So
okay, I could do that. Just give them like a 30-second summary of my situation.
It's tough. Like, it's like in some of these things, it's like, I mean, for example, like you said they're probably going to charge you $1,200 to $1,500 to set up the LLC, and I think that's a reasonable price coming from someone who's done it. Like, I can do it for $100, right? Like, in 20 minutes. I've set up LLCs, how many LLCs, right? But at the same time, it's not going to be as
That's
good.
true. Actually, I set up my own LLC, and then my CPA helped me reorganize it so that it was
Well,
less
like
of a
for
disaster.
example, stuff I was wanting to get help on is like, okay, it's the end of 2018. I'm filing this LLC now. Is it possible to retroactively use it for 2018 for my 2018 taxes? I don't know. Like, right. Do I need to how the heck do I need to set up payroll? How do I? Those are the types of things that I'm gonna need help with, and having another CPA. Basically, I don't completely understand their structure that they promote that we've been setting up here. So now for me to go explain that to my other CPA who I've been using, it's like things are not going to translate well, and I'm not going to be able to fully explain what their rationale is for different things. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's where there's the value of having the same person do it, or possibly paying more money, even though you got to kind of look at it as what is the time and effort worth to you, right?
Right. Well, I mean, so I think my savings at this point will only be like at most a few $1,000s a year from doing this at the moment. So if it's going to cost, several $100s a year to maintain the LLC, and then several $100s and $1,000 to get all my taxes filed,
and the time it will take you, and the mental bandwidth
that's going to be like most of the savings from this. And it adds complexity. I mean, it does add some legal protection, which would be nice.
Yeah. It is something that you do eventually. I mean, as business grows and stuff, and if you do more business ventures, you have to have something like this set up. So
yeah,
that's the other thing to consider. So
right. Okay, well now I have more questions. But yeah, I guess I was just kind of expecting, like, the way this has always worked for me in the past with other CPAs is like, it's kind of more of a package deal. Like you're the client, and they're gonna help you get set up on and get everything together, and then that's just part of the deal of working with them. But it seems like they just want to be paid immediately for everything. So, all right, well, I'll have to think about that some more. We lost Chuck.
We did.
I think he got bored of the text discussion.
I think he's going to go file another LLC just to prove that it can be done. And
for his sports business. Okay, so I've been toying with the idea of like the coaching / some sort of a mastermind group of some sort, and I feel like I still can't get a good, clear answer on it. It's like, here's the thing, like with the coaching thing, like with the personal coaching thing that John and you guys are talking about, it's probably sustainable for foreseeable future in some ways, but with the, like, in the sense, sustainable and not sustainable, let me put it this way, because coaching anytime requires a lot of time, personal time from you to do that, while the group mastermind thing, $100 a month, and group coaching and all that stuff, it actually only requires 2 hours of my time of real dedication, even if I have 100 people on it. But it does require a lot of marketing, constant marketing, to keep the funnel flowing, to have like 50, 100 people in there, because people will leave.
Right. And the difficulty of getting 10 clients at $1,000 versus 100 clients at $100 is probably 5 to 10x.
Hold on, which one is more difficult, you think?
Getting the group together. So the effort that you're not going to be putting into coaching people is going to be going into marketing many times over.
John, you agree with that?
Between the group coaching versus personalized coaching,
Yeah, group coaching as in like having a group of 50 people and weekly.
it'll take more marketing effort.
Well, Josh is saying that it'll take 10x more marketing effort than selling 10 coaching spots. So selling 10 coaching spots at $1,000 a pop compared $1,000 a month compared to selling 100 group mastermind spots at $100 a month.
Oh yeah, it's definitely harder to sell 100 group spots at $100 a month than
harder. What is the scale of complexity we're talking, one or the other? Because in coaching, it will still take me like 20 hours of my time on a monthly basis to do that. While in the group coaching, it will only take 2 hours of my, or 3 or 4 hours of my time to do that.
Plus email support, plus all the marketing.
Right.
People
the
are going to be
marketing is
emailing.
where, so the marketing is the effort there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of
Yes.
it is not the effort as big as marketing is the effort.
Right.
While
And I mean, the
coaching-
10x is just a number. But I would say like,
well, let's just,
you should
even
be,
if it's 5x, it's a lot of
even
work.
if it's three or five, I would say easily 3 to 5x, maybe as much as 10x. Like it's not a trivial amount.
yeah.
Hmm?
Selling 100 of anything is not easy.
100, and it's a subscription. That's the kicker.
Well, selling 100 of stuff is, yeah, I agree. It's not easy. Subscription changes the dynamic as well. Selling 100 of book summaries is not that hard though, but selling 100 of this is probably
right.
Well, what's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish?
Have some recurring income on a regular basis aside from the book summaries.
So your goal is to make how much money per month?
From the recurring, I would say 10K.
Okay, so you want to make 10K and you're willing to trade hours for dollars for that 10K.
Right.
Okay, so the best way to do that then is probably honestly to get 10 coaching clients at $1,000 a month. Because because you can just, you can literally, okay. If you what's your closing rate? If you got on the phone with someone, you can probably close.
It's not like I do freaking this all day long.
No,
I don't really have a closing rate per se.
But I'm saying, like, theoretically, like, you can probably close 10% of the people that you got onto phone calls with, right? Like that's if
they're qualified.
Right. Yeah. So if you just get enough leads that you can make 10 phone calls a day, you can have all those 10 slots filled up in 10 days.
Right. 10 slots, like getting 100 leads means a marketing campaign, really, not just an email marketing campaign, but a full-fledged marketing campaign so that people can actually see the value in it and want to apply and want to be a part of it, right? You have to build it up. It's not as simple as, hey, sign up for this call, or at least not in my mind.
You need some kind of funnel for this, but probably like something to prove the value of it, which might be something like a webinar or masterclass or something like that, where someone can sign up for free and then you're giving some amount of coaching on there, and then you get people to you basically get people that want to find out more or want more of this kind of thing to give you their phone number, like to fill out a lead form, and then you can call them up and pitch them the full deal.
Yeah. So all of that effort is going to be lesser than trying to sell a membership.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Plus, here's the thing with the membership: you have to realize. I think you can have the membership as a downsell to these. This way, you have another possible revenue source when you're making these calls, and then maybe like you get a 10% closing rate on your leads for actual coaching, and then maybe your closing rate on the downsell is maybe like 30% or so. But here's the thing with the membership as well, is that okay, even if you get 100 people at $100 a month, the problem is that yeah, the lifetime value is actually probably going to be like $300 or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I forgot about that piece. But yeah,
Yeah. So even if you got on the phone and sold them,
It's a
right?
constant marketing game at that point. Every month
Yep.
has to market
you
that.
you lose a third of them every month, basically.
Yeah. Whereas if you get a coaching client, and even if their attrition rate is still the same, what I do with my coaching is I say that the minimum commitment is 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm already locking them in for 3 months at
Mhm.
$3,000 a month, so $9,000 right there.
Mhm.
So for me to,
I totally missed what you guys are talking about because my internet crapped out for a minute.
Manny's we're back on coaching for Manny.
Yeah.
Like Manny wants
okay.
$10,000 a month in recurring revenue from some kind of coaching membership,
Some
something
kind
like
of
that.
more involved time from me rather
Right.
than just selling summaries
yeah.
on
makes
courses. Yeah.
So if you're doing $1,000 a month at a minimum 3-month commitment, then that's going to be $3,000. That's worth the time, to get that revenue. And some people stay longer too. So
Right.
and I've got a downsell on my coaching too. So a lot of the people that when they sign up with coaching from me, it's $3,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they say, "Oh, I'm thinking about like that, I probably don't need the coaching as much anymore. I'm thinking about putting it on pause and maybe resuming it later," then my immediate response is, "Well, what most people do is we move it down to 1 call a month for 1,500." Because you don't need the coaching as often. You don't need it every other week, but once a month is a good way to stay on track and to keep the slot available for you while reducing the cost significantly. You're still getting that value out of that. So that's what most of my coaching clients eventually do, and it's true. It is what most of them eventually do, and then I keep them on at that price for much longer.
Right.
So.
Yep. And then the other major benefit of the coaching is like, okay, if you're going to get them onto some kind of call with you, you can ask them, you can do a more of a exploratory consultative type of selling approach where you're like, okay, what are your goals?
Mm-hmm.
What would success look like for you? And you can actually figure out like what you can tell them, like what you can do for them specifically that's worth them paying you $1,000 a month versus having to do that generically for a bunch of people. It's harder. It's way harder. It's way harder to say, I'll give you $100 worth of value a month working with you from a distance than it is for them to believe that if you are, right there alongside them, answering their specific questions, that, it's like the difference between having a personal trainer in the gym with you versus having $100 a month membership on some fitness site. Like, there's still value there, but people feel there's a lot more value when you're specifically addressing their situation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, both of them have their pretty big pros and cons. Either ways.
Yeah.
The only thing I was thinking initially was that one of them was more advertisable than the other, but I realized that's not the case either, because for someone who's cold, they don't know me, that's the same thing. I don't think $100 a month membership is anywhere as advertisable as I thought, because someone who doesn't know me will just take a hell lot of more effort and time to convince them of anything.
Yep.
I don't really like this road at all, to be honest with you, because again, it's trading dollars for hours. Like, I like this road for someone just starting out who needs the dollars, who has to go back to the regular job if they're not running a coaching business. I mean, I don't know 100% where you're at, but my understanding of your business right now is that you have enough money coming in to pay the bills and keep the lights on.
Yeah, more than enough, but it's not. I'd like for things to be faster. I'd like to keep things going.
But this is going to slow things down, because this is going to be time that you're going to be spending that doesn't have any return besides the immediate cash return. right? I mean, you're literally going to be trading dollars per hour.
There'll be learning involved in that, in like what the customers want and what I can create as a future product. Because right now everything is a very low price point product for me.
Yeah,
to
but
go to a higher price point product, I need to figure out what it is that.
Yeah, but general coaching isn't going to, well, it might get you some direction, but if you have some idea where you already want to head this and you have some idea of the product you want to essentially pilot with this, then it might make
fair.
Yeah, and if
you're clarifying all the right product after doing 4 or 5 rounds of it before you finally get enough clarity to go, this is the direction I've got to go. Because then you're taking up way too much time with this and not focusing on the other things that are going to up the rest of your business.
And if that's really true, then just offer coaching for $100 a month and just offer 10 slots and send out 1 email, and all 10 of those slots will get filled just like that. And then you can gain all that knowledge, right? Like that's...
Well, that's that's a good abuse of my time, but I agree.
Well, not if your purpose is not the money.
That's one of the many things that it'll serve along that, and I'll get the highly qualified people to tell me the answer rather than random people telling me the answer.
I don't know. I would say that your efforts are better spent figuring out ways to make money that is reoccurring without you having to spend the time. Right, whether it be like, I mean, if you're going to spend this time, because it's not just like, okay, it would be different if you could just like snap your fingers and bam, coaching clients come in, and that's basically how it works for me, right? It's like I don't advertise the coaching, like I don't put any effort, no marketing, I don't get on the phone with anyone. Basically, people email me and they're like, oh, I wanted coaching, and I'm like, are you sure this is how much it costs? And it's a 3-month commitment, and they say, yep, I want it, and then that's the only way to get coaching. So I'm not spending any time. I'm only spending the 1 hour, whatever it is, to jump on the phone with them. So it doesn't cost me anything as far as that to do it.
The marketing is not
exactly.
There's no efforts in marketing in that.
So you could offer that. You could have that as an option, right? But if you're going to spend time. Right. I mean, the time that you spend setting up this funnel and doing this and handling this, it's much better spent creating a reoccurring revenue stream, whether it be a product or, or some other business model rather than this. Now, if you said what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a coaching system business where I have coaches that I'm going to train and we're going to basically pull clients in, and they're gonna, I'm gonna send them to a coach or something like that. That'd be a totally different thing, but
that'd be a totally different business.
Yeah. And if you were basically at the point, like I said, where you're like, okay, if I don't figure out a way to make an extra 5 or 10K a month, I have to go to the real world and get a real job. Then I'd be like, yeah, obviously, do this, but it doesn't make any sense to optimize for the present. You should be optimizing for 3 years, 5 years from now. And this line of business doesn't optimize for that. It makes your present better, but it makes your future worse.
So one thing to think about, the one way to think about this is that so you're basically with the structure that you have right now, you're probably only capturing 20 or 30% of the revenue from
what do you mean?
Because there's people coming through your sales funnels that would be willing to pay you to coach them. And the big money is always going to be in the higher touch, higher, more complicated to deliver thing. So right now, the question is like, is it going to be easier for you to, like, if you want to double your business, is it going to be easier for you to double your traffic and your audience, or is it going to be easier? Where would you rather put your effort, I guess? Like, it's going to be very difficult to double your audience. And what we've seen is that doubling your audience doesn't guarantee doubling your revenue at all.
Right. So doubling your audience is one part of the equation, but should it be done organically? Can it be done through ads? Because what we have seen is that with ads that convert, and even if they break even, you can scale, your audience very, very, very quickly compared to anything you do with organic effort, which can take a long ass time.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, yeah, if you can get that working like we're trying to do right now,
Yeah. But that's the problem.
a
That's
good way
one
to
of the
go.
challenges. Like,
Right.
I don't really have anything in the higher dollar price point range of kind of products that I offer. So
Right.
to get anything to convert on ads is going to be
But do you need
extremely
something in
difficult.
that high price point?
Huh?
You need to have something in that higher price point?
If I
Yeah, to
want
make
to get
ads
ads to
profitable.
convert, if I
Mhm.
want to get ads to work,
Oh,
otherwise I have to take the organic route. So that's the challenge, I guess. In like, if you look at the more abstract big picture, it's this challenge where it is like, okay, if the ads have to convert, if the business has to grow really fast, then I need a product that's big enough to sustain those ads, big enough price point to sustain those ads. If not, I am relegated to the organic growth, which is always, always, always 10 times slower or 100 times slower, depending on what you are willing to spend on the ad and what you're willing to convert on ads, or how
I
much.
mean, the coaching, one way to do this would be to use the coaching as your upsell with an ad driven funnel. And because that's something you can spin up pretty quickly. I mean, you could have you could have a low ticket front end product and then a $3,000 coaching package on the back end of that.
So
And
yeah,
that would be versus like creating. It would be very hard to create a $3,000 product
right.
from scratch right now.
So that's
with no revenue stream.
right. So yeah, with $3,000 product, that doesn't really, like, that I cannot imagine out of thin air. But my thinking was along the lines of, okay, if I can advertise my book summary pack, let's say the entrepreneurship book summary packs, to entrepreneurial audience, and then upsell some sort of coaching or consulting along after that, then it's a real, there is a possible funnel there, even though it's very hard to know exactly how it will play out. But like, selling the initial book summary pack, maybe at a loss, because that's the way it is going to be. It will not convert at break even, at like even at a $99 price point. Maybe it will, but it's very hard to see. But then the only thing, the upsell would be more like $100 a month group mastermind, or a much higher phone call for coaching.
Yeah, I think you're bumping into a smaller scale version of the same problem that we've been dealing with Simple Programmer, where it's like you've got a bunch of different topics that you cover.
Yeah.
And where the advertising kind of changes the picture is that you can get people that are all coming in. You can get a big river of people coming in on one, one stream, and so you can have a more targeted offer.
Yeah, but it has to be high price points. Then you can target the offer.
Yeah.
And
I've been talking to, I talked to Dan Locke about this and a couple of other YouTubers that were there, and Udemy is killing us all. As far as courses,
they're feeling the same pain.
Yeah, you can't sell a $99 course anymore. It's, I mean, you can, but it's much harder, right? Everyone says, "Oh, I can get this on Udemy,"
and that's just, like, as much as we bemoan it, that's just the natural evolution of a market. Whenever you've got a new product, if you come like the smartphone market has gone this way, right? There's Apple, and then there's like a whole bunch of smartphones that are like $39. So that's just how it happens.
Even business and life coaching now too is like everyone is a business coach or a life coach now.
Yep. You see there's like a gold rush period where what?
I'm both a business and life coach, or a life business coach.
Most of them are.
But yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes. The people see the opportunity, and then a bunch of people rush in, and and then it all gets it all gets it's a general downward trend.
All right.
But-
Thanks for a very enlightening and uplifting conversation, guys.
Well,
We do our,
Yeah.
our best.
Yeah. No, I yeah, I mean, Udemy is doing what it's doing. We got to figure out ways to
Yeah.
do how we do business, and that's always going to be the best. I mean, the great game of business is that you can always evolve rather than being an automotive worker where you're like,
right.
Exactly.
hey, I'm done. I was an automotive worker and now my skills are not useful, so I'm like out of job and I'm shit out of luck. Well, that's
Right.
not what you do when you're in business, because you always find a way out.
Right.
That's the whole
Yeah, you've
fun
got
of
to
it.
look at ways to do things that Udemy's not willing to do.
Exactly, which is more personalized, high-end.
Exactly.
And book summaries are not in Udemy domain either. That's more of a
Right.
much more involved business. So
Right.
that way
Yeah.
I'm kind of separate from that.
Mhm. You're separate from it, but you're going to feel some of the peripheries of that same pressure. Just
Yeah, I
because
do. I mean, it's
it's a
fine.
digital product, and
That's part
Yeah.
that's part of evolution of business in some ways.
Yep.
You learn, the obstacle becomes the way, right? You figure out better ways to do things, and you find better ways. So what I was talking about, that funnel, which is like front end entrepreneurship books or something along those lines, or selling a bunch of book summaries and then back ending it with some sort of a personal development group offer, or maybe a coaching offer or something, which can downsell to a group offer
Mhm.
if that's what it is. Because as you guys know very well, scaling up organic traffic is a bloody hard battle, in the sense it's a long game compared to people we have seen. Have you guys taken a look at John Lee Dumas's old income reports?
No.
Back in
haven't.
2013, 2014. So one of the things he did, he had a list. So check this out. 2013, November or December, one of those income reports, I was reading through it, and they were making like 100K a month from that, during that time, right? 100K a month, and trying to figure out how they did it. And the first thing they were doing was, of course, running webinars to Podcasters Paradise, which was like a $500 offer at the time,
Mhm.
right? Now, what do you think was their organic, like they're basically making around 50 to 60K from Podcasters Paradise during that time frame, from selling that. What do you
Mhm.
think was their organic list size when they were doing that?
10,000.
What do you think, John?
I'd say it's probably more like. This is what year?
They're
13,
doing
2013.
50K per month in Podcasters Paradise
But
sale,
what year?
2013, and
I'd say maybe like 30K.
okay.
That list.
Does the revenue
It's a
number?
very targeted offer and targeted.
Yeah.
Right.
So it turns out their list was 8,000, just like what Josh said, 10,000.
Oh wow.
8,000. And they were basically running Facebook ads to webinar to pitch, right?
Mhm.
And they were literally converting, like they would get 300 people to register, and they would get 10 sales from the damn thing, $5,000. And they would do it freaking, or $10,000, 20 sales. And they would do it every week. So 4 weeks, they were literally grossing 50K. Just from Facebook ads, webinar conversion. So what I was trying to say in that is that it's not organic. The organic reach was only so much. The organic reach was definitely getting them the trust with the audience and all that stuff. But ultimately, to get the audience to scale, they they did a hardcore paid advertising campaign to make it all work. And that's true for any fast growth business, more or less. Like organic is not the fast growth business strategy. Organic is a long-term strategy, but fast growth,
Yeah.
I don't see anyone doing organic fast growth. It's ads fast
Yeah.
growth.
Well, and if you do it, like if you don't just like churn and burn on the paid promotions, and you're actually nurturing people after they come through, then it boosts your organic over time, and it works together.
Yeah.
Versus.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like kind of drawn to the whole paid, because I don't think organic is going to like just suddenly 10x. Well, it is possible 10x, but still, it's much more unlikely compared to paid, where you are like, all right, even if I lose $1 per email subscriber, I gained 50,000 email subscribers from this campaign, and now I know I can consistently keep on making offers and blah blah blah, keep on doing these things to make this money come in the long term, compared to organic, where you're like, all right, for these 50,000 email subscribers, I might have to grind it out for another year, 2, 3, 4, I don't know how long before I get those.
Yeah. I think it depends on where you're at too, right? Like on how much of a, so for example, how many email subscribers do you get per day right now?
I'm doing around 2,000 per month.
Okay. So like,
oh no, so let me put it this way. This month I did 2,000 because I put myself a challenge to do 2,000. Usually it was around 1,000, 1,500. I wanted to double it, so 2,000 this month. Yeah.
Okay, so if you can double that, right? Like to double that, if you're doing 2,000 a month right now, to double that it's not super easy. Like if someone were doing 10 a day, right? Then it's much easier to say, okay, well, can you get 10 more? Heck, you can just do that manually, right? But to get, an extra like 60 or so, a day,
you need automated systems.
Well, yeah, I mean, but realistically, like you could do that by hunkering down and building a bunch of content that would get you organic traffic, right? Like you're not at the point.
It's a slow grind. It's not like one day. I mean, even if I wrote down, if I wrote that content and did it, it will take a few months before the reach of that actually plays out
yeah,
in
for
SEO
sure.
game, right?
Yeah, it'll take some time for sure, but I'm saying it's within the realm of possibility. It's not a difficult task. If you're getting like 10,000 email subscribers a month, to double that is very, very difficult, right? Like you could do that if you spend a ton of money on ads, right? Like I guess what I'm saying is that at certain levels, certain things make sense and other things don't make sense, right? Like, so at the level that you're at, I think focusing on organic traffic still makes a lot of sense because it still makes a big enough dent, right? You could conceivably double that.
Yeah, but okay, so here's a bigger. Okay, so let's think more meta. Okay, my time, my existence on this planet is worth X $1,000. Let's say $7,000-8,000 per month. It's not worth. It's how much it is expensive, and that's how expensive it is. So if I use all of that time to get that extra 2,000 subscribers, compared to if I paid another $5,000 to get an extra 5,000 subscribers, which one is better? Because I'm already spending time being alive and wasting time, and I'm only generating 2,000 subscribers, right? Being alive, compared to spending the money that I have to just go and fucking buy those subscribers and not having to like just be in the mode where I'm like, all my hustle is going into just getting the next 1,000 subscribers for this month, compared to just say, all right, fuck it, we're just going to spend the money to get that. Because then $6,000 of being alive or $8,000 of being alive plus another 5,000 could actually reach me 6,000 subscribers rather than just 2,000 subscribers. The money is going to go anyways.
Yeah, but
this way or that way.
Can you spend $5,000 to get 5,000 subscribers?
I don't know, but that's what I want to. That's what I feel worth testing.
Watch us for the next month.
Yeah, because if we, I mean,
see if we drive off a cliff or not.
I think you guys will. I think if you guys decide to convert, you will figure out a way, because there's so many different offers in the programming space. You just need to find one offer that's converting in, like it's a competitive in your competitive space. Whoever has the highest converting offer, you just take that damn offer, and you just make that thing even better and run ads. You will make it work. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is,
it's not rocket science to make ads work. Why we've been talking about a lot of people who are making it work already. I mean, freaking John Lee Dumas was making it work 5 years ago. Judith Katala, the girl I was telling you guys about, is making it work this year. Did I tell you she grew her list from 0 to 200,000 within a year while profitably doing it? Now people can argue, oh, this was Spanish market, blah blah. It doesn't matter. Somehow some way there is a market for a product. That's why YouTube, Facebook advertising is still going crazy for all info marketers. People are still doing it at a higher level.
Yeah.
I know John has some emotional trauma with the webinars and
anything that the worst combination of things is things that cost you money and time.
That's true, but
right, like if you said right now, if you said I'll give you like a decent subscriber for, I'll give you 5,000 subscribers for $5,000, I'll be like, okay, well, here's 50 grand. I'll take 50 grand worth of them, and then we'll go ahead and just launch a product to those. We'll do a promotion to those 50,000 subscribers, and we'll make back half of that money, and then we'll take that money and we'll just do it again, right?
And if and there are ways to do that. Like, it will take effort to initially figure it out, but once you figure it out with a high price point product, people are doing it. We know that. Anyone who's scaling it, anyone who's scaled massively has always used ads. I don't know many organic content marketing companies that have just grown organically that big. I don't know if you guys know. Pat Flynn is the only example, but he's not even like, when it comes to courses, he's also doing ads. He's constantly running ads for his courses.
Yeah.
All his non-course related stuff was affiliate marketing, SEO stuff. But even that was not quote unquote fast.
Well, and I think one point I'm going to make here is that you need to be doing both, because in the long term, the content is going to pay off for you. In the short term, I mean, if you want to make short-term gains and you can figure out how to work the system to get the traffic, to get the eyeballs, and then make them convert, then go for it. But, don't ignore or slack off on the content to go after this other avenue unless it's a really short-term thing that is going to pay off.
I agree. I mean, that game continues on. Like, the good thing about organic is now, even if I were to go away for a year, my email list will probably continue to do a lot of the things it continues to do, and the traffic will continue to come in and do all those things.
Yeah.
But that is not enough to go fast. That's enough to go slow mode. I think content marketing is a good business when you are in a job. Organic content, like writing organic content while you're building your business on the side. That makes a lot of sense when you're in a job, but when you've left the business, when you're doing it for yourself, that one is a slow freaking grind forever.
So one thing to consider here is that every channel is not infinitely scalable.
That's true.
No channel is infinitely scalable. That's true. I know people like Brian. Well, I probably shouldn't skip specifics, but I know people who are very good marketers who are like, I can get Facebook to work up to this point, and then it's like, boom, like drops off a cliff, and I cannot get it to scale. Like, Facebook is not an infinitely scalable traffic source. It looks infinitely scalable when you're zero. And content marketing is the same way. So you build your traffic to a certain point with content marketing, and then you find that the quality drops off significantly as you gain more and more traffic. So, like, yes, getting from position 3 to position 1 on the page will get you a lot more traffic. It's not going to like, if it doubles your traffic, it's not going to double your business because the quality will be lower. That's just the name of the game in all of these channels.
I agree.
So Facebook is, if you're not doing a paid channel, then yes, that will help you get some additional scale.
Maybe it is YouTube. Who knows? Maybe YouTube works better for whatever we're doing because I'm already on YouTube, so I can make YouTube work. I don't know about that, like which one would work better for where we are, but I do know that sitting around on organic growth is a pretty slow path, slow burn in some ways. I'm still spending the money. I'm still spending the money on being alive. So might as well spend even more on money, a little more to blow up the traffic rather than just sit around on the money, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
You're gonna get it back.
Yeah.
Was that?
As long as you're going to get it back, yes.
Well, yes and no, because sometimes like you don't know if it's immediately going to back out, right? Some of that money, maybe you acquire leads for
fair.
$2.50, but you're only able to make $1 back right away.
Right.
I'd still take that because it's only $1 per lead overall compared to the effort I need to put in on a monthly basis to get that lead.
Well, okay.
That's pretty dangerous. Because I've been down that path. We spent several $1,000s as an experiment a couple years ago, or I guess it was about a little over a year ago. And I got about 1,000 subscribers from Facebook ads.
Right.
And we ran through a regular funnel, and we were spending $2.50, and we were making back about 25 cents.
Okay, well
and then we
good.
and then we ran a fire sale deal to them, and we made 1 sale.
Yeah.
So you need to be targeting something 60 to 90 days. There needs to be a pretty short-term break even, because you cannot count on ever making that money back if you're not very rigorously.
It's true.
You can't figure on making it back over 2 years. It's got to be, it doesn't have to be the first week, but it needs to be within a relatively short, measurable time period. And even the marketers I know who talk about thinking long-term, they're usually talking more like 60 to 90 days.
Although there is one exception to this, right? Which you're familiar with Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Tipping Point. So, that was kind of the Tai Lopez strategy, right? I think honestly Grant Cardone employed this as well, probably Dan Lok as well, which is basically if you spend enough dollars on marketing, even if it's at a loss, right? If you can get enough exposure to hit the tipping point where people know who you are, where basically okay, so take Tai Lopez is the best example, right? Because when he was running his stupid In My Garage ad, I don't think he was making money off of that ad. I really don't. Considering I don't think so. I don't think he was making any money off of that ad. I think it was a big loss. Okay, but here's what happened. He ran so much of that ad. He spent so much money on that ad. He put it in so many places that he reached a tipping point where people were sharing the ad, where people were talking about the ad, where people were like, oh, do you know who Tai Lopez is, right? Where he was getting a bunch of free advertising. So eventually he started making money off of that ad, right? Indirectly. And he built up a reputation. He hit the tipping point with it, which made everything that he did profitable, whereas the ad itself probably was not profitable. Right. So if you can hit a tipping point within your niche community where people know who you are and you get enough exposure, then you get you've kind of got this, if you have this graph of the ad spend versus the revenue, it's you're going down, you're losing money until you hit the tipping point, and then all of a sudden it shoots up. Because you're benefiting from the word of mouth, you're benefiting from that exposure, right? The multiple exposures. So it's a game of kind of attrition there. Are you willing to do you have enough balls that you're willing to sink enough cash into this?
I only have 2 balls.
Right. That's a valid strategy as well.
Yeah. What I am seeing consistently for almost all of the big names in the industry, is that there is some sort of ad spend or money spent on building the damn thing, unless, yeah, there are very few who are coming up today who are not spending any money on ad and still making it big just from organic.
Mhm.
That was maybe 10 years ago when Brendan Bouchard and all these guys were doing it with just affiliate relationships,
Right.
Big affiliate relationship.
Yeah.
deals.
Well, and it also was just in general, the social media platforms were a lot more
Mhm.
open, and you could get organic reach on social.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with spending money on ads, though. I think that's the
No.
Yeah.
thing we have, a lot of us have fought or have thought about as a bad thing. We've had conversations on this call numerous times about how it's not a good thing, but I think it's a good thing as long as you know how to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, I think that making it work part is
Well, it takes effort, just if someone were to come to you and say, "Hey, man, I'm thinking of starting this thing, and I'm going to go all organic traffic, and within 6 months, I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to make it a 6-figure business," you're going to be like, "All right, man, good luck with that shit, because nothing's going to work." You know that, right?
Right.
Yep.
That shit, 6 months, nothing's going to happen. Like that business is going to take a hell lot more time compared to what he's thinking, his rosy glasses. Same with ads. We think one try and one time we try to do it and we know it all. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. The problem on our scale is that getting the test data to make the thing work is really expensive. I mean, I've probably spent $10,000 at least of simple programmer money on trying different things.
Well, you've got to get over John's emotional trauma on webinars.
Hey guys, I need to wrap up soon. I have a call coming up.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Should we do our thoughts for the week?
Yep. You got to run to the airport too.
Where are you at anyway?
Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
It's raining. It's cold. Well, my thought, okay, I already have my thought because I've been thinking about this damn thought. Is I'm trying to simplify. So the biggest question and simplification that I keep asking myself is, if I could only do if I have a list of 10 things to do, what are 2 to 3 things I would much rather do and let someone else take care of the remaining 7 things to make this whole thing work, whether it's in aspects of business, funnels, marketing, sales, whatever, or in life as well. Like, how can I do fewer things and do them better rather than do more things? So that's the question I've been trying to answer for myself for the last few days. How can I simplify more and more? How can I do fewer things? I think simplicity by itself is it's a difficult question to answer, but just answering how can I do fewer things, or what are the few things I can do, that's an easier question to ask and get an answer for. That's my thought, in case you guys didn't know.
Well, I'm just gonna kind of it's related to what Manny was saying, and this came out of mostly our call last time, was just realizing, what is the thing that will benefit me the most, and how can I focus on that instead of the thing that I necessarily really want to do. How do you prioritize that, and then how do you make it work for you? And sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. But one thing that I figured out is that just talking through it and then just focusing on it and making it the thing that you have the most pomodoros on or whatever is the way that I make that work these days.
Let's see. I think mine will be, I've been thinking about this lately just with the holidays and everything, is damage control is the primary thing that's important in life, is damage control, because moving backwards a yard has a double penalty. One, you go backwards, but also the time it takes you to move forward to make up for the one backwards lost yard. So it's a double penalty. So it's kind of like that penny saved is a penny earned, but it's more like a penny saved is 2 pennies earned. In that case, is with productivity and time and progress, because the time factor multiplies it, and that's the thing about it, is it's real easy to, to let things fly off the handle, but you're not always going to have a win, but you can always make a loss less, and all the effort. Sometimes I think if you're not going to have a win, you're like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to have a win, but the more important quality is to make the losses less. The smaller the losses are, you get the double effect of that, versus making a win bigger is great, but it's a one-time effect, but or one times it's a linear effect. Whereas when you prevent losses, you get double that because you gain the time benefit as well.
So this week was obviously Christmas, and this was our first Christmas in this house, and it's amazing the difference that changing my surroundings has made, just in my overall mood, quality of life, everything. So I'm going to call bull on the money doesn't buy happiness idea. It does to a point. I mean, when you're able to upgrade an area of your life that's important to you, that really can have a major effect on your overall happiness and life quality.
True.
Sure. All right, guys.
See you next year.
Happy New Year to all of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.